moment on this conference that I went for in Nairobi, when the South African Minister of Transport stood up in the gathering where there are political parties from all over the world, and he said to me, he said, I want to applaud Liberia because your election was so tight, hotly contested, and President Boakai only defeated President Weah less than 30,000 votes. And yet, President Weah conceded. He said, you people should continue that democracy. I was proud. I'm going to say anyway, therefore, President, we have to concede and keep our democracy on the path it is. It's something, of course, I'm proud of, and I'm happy he did that. I will praise him any day for that, because not many Africans can do that. Look, let's stop all these political norms. When people do something good, praise them. He could have stayed in power like other people.
I think that was the
yes, he could have done that.
So
when President Boakai,
yeah, I understood the question, and I was just coming into that. For me, when years back, these people throwing the traditional leaders, the traditional women against the Weah-led administration by portraying an image like we were against the traditional practices of our country. Let us set this record straight. We are not against these practices, but also there should be policies, there should be priorities set aside by the government to ensure that these traditional practices align with, the globalized, sector, as because the world has advanced. We cannot keep reducing or declining ourselves, subjecting ourselves to something that the world has gone far and beyond. We have to align with the world. So, under Boakai administration, this country image continue to decline on a daily basis. That I can see. This country's image continue to decline on a daily basis because these things that they criticized yesterday, here are we. They have all resurfaced. And here they cannot do anything about it. When you even talk on the side of the truth and based on honesty, you have one minister sitting down at Ministry of Information, dismissing and resorting into insults. So these are the kinds of people we have in our governing system. We no longer have people that will look at the truth or accept the truth from rival or opposition political parties. These people, when they were not in government, they even criticized free school. They criticized free YXC. They criticized every single thing in this country. But today, their mouth are sealed. Their mouth are closed. They have shut up their mouth. They can no longer see the realities. They can no longer acknowledge bad from right. So it means that they just wanted to come, in the society. They just wanted to come to power and continue what they said were not right yesterday, because they claim that they are the most quote-unquote educated group of people. But today, everything they campaign against are now normalized in Liberia. So our girls need to to acquire significant education in this country, because there's a saying that says when you educate a girl, you educate an entire nation. So what are we doing to safeguard the image of our young women? It's not by some traditional, or practices. Yes, we can blend these things. We are taught from home. We are normally taught to be homekeepers. But we should prioritize education. We should not subject young women to reduce them to something that they do not want to be. If you ask most of these young women, that they are forcing them into things that they don't like, they will clearly tell you that, we don't like what is going on. They are underage children, for heaven's sake. They cannot speak for themselves. So if we cannot lead them on the right path, what are we as people of this country? So this government is useless to its core because they have seen things going on the bad trend and they cannot speak about it. All they do is to sit down, abuse our young women and also sit down and start insulting when people are even trying to give them honest opinions.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead on with the way.
Yeah, so on the topic, I think it has been dealt with sufficiently by my colleagues. I don't want to waste my time. If Mr. Boakai can appoint a rapist, it tells you they have no value for women. If Mr. Boakai's administration will look down on female as they have done continuously, it tells you they have no value for women. He drove female from his regime. Emma Glasgow was driven particularly from the regime. So this man don't have no value for women. So we know who Mr. Boakai is. So the topic has been dealt with sufficiently. I pity these young ladies who are of school-going ages. They are there in the bushes and they are not going to school. We see money being extracted from education budget and shift.
What would the citizen do? Because this man stood there and said that if you can see the money and invest in Liberia. So just to tell you that go and see taxpayers' money. After stealing, you keep a portion at your house, and the rest of the money you share it among the citizens. I mean, the masses of our country, the downtrodden masses of our country. So, as an elected official, as an elected president before his inauguration, Boakai started accepting bribe. He started accepting gifts from businesses. This is an act of corruption. No scientist will come from heaven or no angel will come from heaven and tell us that, Boakai would just be sitting down. A Boakai of yesterday would just sit down, someone would just bring money and give it to him. No, because this man told us that he was living alone. So the fact that Boakai started accepting gifts is an act of corruption. One other one is corruption has become the hallmark of this regime. It is rampant. It is visible in all sectors. Corruption is just like sorry for the expression, just like a prostitution in our country. Every sector in this country has been affected by corruption, and Boakai is doing nothing about it. Corruption is also exploiting commercial drivers to register their vehicles, their keke, their motorbikes, and at the end of the day, you restrict them from running on major streets without providing them no job opportunity. That is also corruption. You cannot tell me that I should go and register my bike over $100, $100, and at the end of the day, you restrict me from going out to fend for my living. That is also corruption. And corruption is also when you have Amos Swear, the Secretary General of the United Party, taking loan from Finance Ministry without legislative approval. We saw that happening in this country. And Boakai, he knows about it. The president knows about it. He's aware of it. And it cannot even account, the finance ministry, the prayer bank economy cannot also account for this over 73 million that have been, just in thin air. So people all know where in Liberia, people will just be sitting down in this country. Money that they allocated for a specific purpose will just disappear in thin air. You want to tell me that the president don't know about them? No, he's aware of them. He know exactly what is going on. Corruption is also when you have the CSA boss, Josiah Joker, that comical individual sitting.
All right, so fellow Liberians, home and abroad, it's a privilege again for us to be on here. And we want to use this occasion to extend our thanks and appreciation to all of you who continue to remain very, very supportive to what we do here. We want to say thank you. We appreciate you from every angle of the word. You continue to support our work through your comments, through sharing, and everything that you do. We highly appreciate it and we are grateful. So, as usual, we ask that you do us a favor. Somebody say, Prince, it's unusual on Sunday. Yes, sometimes when the matter becomes very, very cogent, very important, and very pressing, we cannot wait, or we don't even have a holiday. The least time that we have, we will use it to inform our people. And this is the reason why we are here on this Sunday. So we are grateful. We will discuss again. Join us in the comments section. We welcome each and every one of you, and let us have a wonderful time. I mean, let's all discuss the issues that is affecting Liberia and how we can make Liberia better. As we all know, there is a serious problem. Liberia is now under serious international scrutiny that is affecting all of us as people, especially those of us in the diaspora, those that travel on a daily basis. They are feeling the weight of what is happening in Liberia. Some of you may not know. Some of you who are in Liberia, maybe by one way or the other, you may not have the time or the chance to travel internationally. But people who are traveling internationally, maybe for businesses or etc., if they explain to you what they are going through, just because of this recent situation, you will not believe it. Liberians now are being subjected to what we call, uh, I want to manage the word, but again, there is no way that I can put it. Liberia is subjected to what we call, you know, extreme scrutiny. Yeah, it's just so bad off when they look at you. Once they see that passport and they register Liberia, you are giving a different treatment. You are giving a different treatment. They treat you like a suspect already. In fact, they treat you like you are, carrying something different. That is what our people who travel on a daily basis faced. But again, we are here to ensure that we inform our people about what is happening, and we are grateful that we've been joined this Sunday morning by our brother uh, Chokon, the president for the Supreme Motorcyclist of Liberia. Brother Chokon, welcome, sir. Welcome.
Yeah, am I clear?
Very loud and clear, sir.
Yeah, so again, I want to say thank you for this unique opportunity. Let me use this time to appreciate all of our supporters, our followers, those of you that made it your business all of the time to share these information, our videos. I mean, to be very supportive of these things that we do. We don't take these support lightly. We hold it in high esteem. We appreciate you. It's a wonderful time in Liberia. It's let me quote the president. Strange things will happen, and the strange things are already started happening. I mean, it first started with Lofa. That's supposed to be the bread basket. Lofa begin the just basket. Now the just basket has extended to our entire country. There's no Lofa is no more holding that title as a just basket. The entire country Liberia now is a just basket now for Africa. So I mean that would be my starting point. I submit.
Thank you. Let's welcome some of our people that have joined us from around the globe. I know, let me first of all give a shout out to our people there. The Maryland Online News, I want to say thanks to the folks there. The Maryland Online News, they are doing great, well, and fine in collaborating with us to ensure that the information is across. I want to say thank you to the folks there for streaming live the program. I also want to say thanks to the True Lens News Liberia. Thank you so very kindly for the folks there. They are doing exceptionally well. They are also streaming live the program. I also want to say thanks to the Metro Media. The Metro Media is also carrying this live. I want to say thanks on their page. Also to the Kings FM 88.5 Critical Issue Liberia. They are also carrying the program live. I want to say thanks. And also, we are trying to get in partnership with one of our brother who actually have an online platform that is the LBR. So this online platform gave us the opportunity to stream whatever we are doing live via an FM, or let's say app. So you don't need to go on Facebook Live in order to get us to burn the data. All you need to do is just to, download the app, and you can listen to it, while even your phone or your data is off. Even if you don't have, your Facebook, how you call the thing, data to browse, you can still just click on the app and you can listen to it. So it's an FM app and it goes across the entire world. It's been listening to. Yesterday we tried it. It's very unique. There were other people who were listening from, all over the place. Somebody was even listening from Germany because we're trying it, and they were listening from Germany. So I want to say thanks to our brother Wills. We are still, discussing, and we hope and pray that we can conclude that so that, we will be live at always. And those of you who are watching us from areas that maybe it's a kind of bit difficult, or, the network is troubling, you can just click straight on the FM app and you will listen and also participate. So I want to say thanks to our brother. He is, doing marvelous there and making sure that we can have a stream all over the world. People all over the world can just get to it. We want to say thanks. And to all of you who are joining us in a special way, I want to say thanks to my brother, Momo Blamo. Thank you so much for your presence here. As always, you share, you tag people. We do appreciate you, Momo Blamo. I want to welcome Josiah Nimle. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Josiah Nimle. Thank you for your presence here. Ephraim S. Wither. Thank you so much, Ephraim Wither. We appreciate your presence, even though you have a different view, but yet we appreciate you for coming on and listening to us so that we all can interact. Randa Nangwe, thank you so much, Randa Nangwe. We appreciate your presence here. We want to say thank you so much for joining us. Johnson V. Kennedy, how are you, Chief? We appreciate your presence here. It's always a privilege. Andrew Stalker, thank you so much. Isaka Suo, how are you, my dear brother? Thank you so much for joining us. Anthony W. Gay Sr., how are you, sir? We appreciate your presence here. Ibrahim V. Kiazulu, thank you so much for joining us. Anthony Gay Sr., we appreciate you. Moses Thomas Stubberfee, thank you so much for your presence here, following us there from Banga City, Bon County. Thank you so much. Lawson, how are you, Lawson? We appreciate you. Nathan, thank you so much. Nathan Egg, I'm sorry, Jabadi, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Uh, Leonardo, how are you, Leonardo? Leonardo Tupa, you are highly welcome. Sir Johnson, we appreciate you. The Honorable Kevin Soko, how are you, sir? I appreciate your presence here, a big brother, one of our leader. I want to say you are highly welcome, Honorable Kevin Soko. Thank you for everything. Sir Joseph, we appreciate, sorry, Sir Johnson, we appreciate you. Thank you for everything. All of you, Isaac Bestman, all of you that are watching us on other platforms, we want to say thank you so very kindly. We appreciate you. Joyce, how are you, Joyce? We appreciate your presence here, my lovely sister Joyce. Thank you for joining us. My brother, I want to start with this first news. I know yesterday we received the news. I think the day before we received the news. I want to get your reaction. We've always been saying that the ORC, that is the officer in charge or officer in whatever of the LDEA, has always been compromised. Judging from what we've been following, his driver driving these guys up and down the place, compromising drugs issue and etc. For the fact that he was even appointed and asked, to take that position by Gregory Coleman, we knew that something very sinister, was cooking at the LDEA. At a certain point in time, when the public pressure became very tense and heated, he ought to resign and said he was going to resign. His communication of resignation was refused by Joseph Newman Boakai. The government refused, said, no, you can't resign. You got to be here to protect our interests and etc. He came up later because news can hire. and said that it was lie. I ain't wanted to resign. Oh, the people lying on my knee, blah, 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 and stuff like that. In less than no time, we are now seeing a communication from this very individual who yesterday said he wanted to resign and the government refused, and he came up to defend that, oh, it was lie, sending out a communication of recusal, that he do not want to be part of the investigation. He wants to recuse himself from the investigation. And the communication was written to the justice minister, somebody who was also appointed by the president. My brother, let's hear from you. What is your take in this communication? Is this a sincere communication from the boss of the LDEA? Do you see this as a way that we are making progress, that government is now listening to the people, that Joseph Numa Boakai is now taking serious this issue and is, making sure, as he said, the axe will fall where it will fall, there will be no sacred cow? How do you interpret this communication from the LDEA boss? Thank you and welcome again. Stewart
I
Campbell.
still I want to. Yeah, am I clear?
Very loud and clear, sir.
So, Ramos Sherry, let me say this. I'm going to start my submission in this way of faction. It comes in a way like an advice. If you are not prepared to be a bastard and an ordained criminal, don't practice lie. Because the most difficult thing in criminality or in stealing is lying. You must be a very good liar in order to be a good criminal. The guy resigned long ago. I mean, sometimes I can find it extremely difficult to see our friends who have refused to transition. Paul and Jeremiah Pierre, the rest of the guys in government, they are still taking this generation to be that arcade generation, and the pre-war era, right? Where people never had the opportunity, to smartphone, the kind of technology that we enjoy today. These guys never had it. One will sit and wait for 6 o'clock news, and for EFBC before they get anything, happening in the country. And one way government will run like a society bush. And I mean, the guys have refused to transition. They still believe that we are still living in a pre-war era wherein people don't have the sophistication, to get this information. He resigned. The information was leaked, like he said, and he denied the allegation because we knew the actual reason behind his resignation. And what is even sickening is that, do the justice minister have any authority over the LDA boss to decide whether he stay at a job or leave? He don't. They are all appointees. He's not a civil servant. He's a contractor like the justice minister. They are all contractors. That's why they were giving green letter for the president's office to serve in this capacity as contractors, not full employees or civil servant. You go to another contractor and report to him and do a submission or resignation. What's the logic? But God got his own way of exposing people who believe that Liberians are stupid. When last you hear another minister, not even an assistant minister, can say a resignation letter to a deputy minister or a minister? In his capacity as LDA board or the ORC, he and the justice minister are on the same path. He reports to the president. They all report to the president. Every one of them. The only relationship they have in common is coordination. But when I saw that letter, I got shocked. It is no different from the the video I did in regards to the Unity Party and marketing of I'm sorry to use the word, but man, I think that was a clear display of marketing or insanity. Like somebody said, the government is uprooting or destroying the CDC just cartel. When all the people who have been jailed are all Unity Party people, that's the same thing with the LDA boss resignation letter. The justice minister has absolutely no jurisdiction over you. Why would you report to him a letter of resignation? You send it to the justice minister. He was confused because he had already said, let me tell you this. He had already sent a resignation letter to the president long time. Long time. So I think it was not going to make sense for him to have written another communication because the first letter is already dated from the day he wrote it. So to say another letter, come on. We have our people everywhere. I mean, you can't lie to government. I think that's why giving a cat hard time. So they were being deceptive. We are already getting the truth, and there's nothing more they can do. They just need to confront to whatever they are faced with and move on. Thank you.
Again, thank you. We want to welcome our brother Jake. My brother Jake, how are you, Chief? Welcome, sir. How are you?
Yeah, praise and triple salute to you and to the follower once again. You'll have to share this video. Sharing is free always. We're getting there, the message getting across. Their propaganda not working. You can see how social media is silent. All of them run away from social media because they cannot prove anything anymore. They will never lie. Here with a relay video. So the debate is on. But thank you for sharing this video. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so very kindly. So here is my take on this communication. The LDEA boss has been compromised from day one. That is the OIC. The first thing is the OIC did not go down there because he's one of the most experienced, because he has what it takes to make that place better. He went there because Gregory Como wanted to get a grip of what we call that particular area so that his operation can be carried on smoothly, since he was the person or the direct negotiator of Joseph Numa Boakai in these drugs issues. That's the reason why you saw that Joseph Numa Boakai is relaxed on this whole drugs thing, because he believed that Gregory Como get it. Gregory Como get his back. Biago was recommended or was sent to that particular office, that office of ORC, by Gregory Como. This is a man who served directly under Gregory Como. And at the time, we had this issue with how you call A.B. Kroma. They had this issue with with Christopher, I think the ORC that was there, and etc. etc. When that whole thing came up, Gregory Como decided that, look, let me send somebody there who I can directly control, who I can pick up the phone and call and say, look, oh man, they concern me coming. How do we do it? How do we do it? Because remember now, this man is not like a trained DEA officer. He is a police officer. One thing we must understand is that, look, every discipline has its own, character, has its own education, and etc. etc. That's the reason why, even if you are the best police officer, there is always a need when you go into another section that you be trained in that section. It's not all the police officers that can be traffic officer. No. It's not every police officer that you see that are traffic officer. No. There are people at the police academy, you are put in your area and you are trained in your area. For example, we have some people who are maybe ballistic, let's say, experts. At the police department there or at the police training, you go in that area and say, oh, I want to be a ballistic person. They train you in that area. The man who say, I want to be a traffic man, you go in that traffic area, they train you in that traffic area. The man who say you want to be forensic, different area. That's how it is done. In the Western world, those of us that are in the security, they don't just jump and say, oh, because they may, that security man, so therefore you can do this, you can do that. No, you are not superhuman being to do everything all at once. You are trained in a specific area. You go for the general training. After the general training of 1 month, you go in your area of specialty. You go in your area of specialty. Now, this man called Biago, as far as we are concerned, has never attended any training relative to the LDEA, how you handle issue, how you look at issue there. But Gregory Como seconded that particular guy because he believed that he wants somebody that he can control. He wants somebody that he can be able to say, go, and the person go, come, and the person come, destroy this, and the person destroy. It's a network, my people. It's a network, not a mistake. It's a network. Gregory Como is not a fool. Look, one thing I can say, whether you like it or you don't like it, Gregory Como, when it comes to this criminality thing, that ball is okrum in it. That ball has been around for a while, whether you like it or not. These are the Madam Ellen protege. These are people who were trained by Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Even when they said this boy was in the SOD, and you understand, he had that particular background, he had that knowledge. You know that one you can't take it from him. You can't take it from him. But the thing is, we have become more sophisticated than they are because the knowledge that they acquire was back then, where we did not have no phone. You know, we could go to how you call telecom. We go use that landline phone. Then we put it to our ear. But now the world is so sophisticated to the extent that this cell phone is everything. This cell phone is everything for us. It gives you information that are very accurate. It gives you, on day to day, we can be on this platform and know what is happening in, how you call, in South Africa, the major news in England, the major news in, how you call, Japan, and etc., etc. So they cannot beat the knowledge that we have acquired. And that's the reason why whenever they make move, we are able to uncover their deeds. So for Bianco to tell us from the very beginning that, oh, you know, the information was who told you? Liberia, as small Liberia is. Look, give somebody Syria $20. I'm talking about Party $20. I'm talking about Liberia $20. With no disrespect to our country currency. But get that person $20 US. And tell that man, say, my man, you know what? I want for you to be 45 in the middle of the road. That man will even tell you, say, oh man, will put that. Talk less of the security system, where people sometimes will take 2-3 months before they get paid. Then people looking at them and giving them money. You think what they will do? Was it not the same security people that told us that, oh, the investigation was compromised? Gregory Como told us that the investigation was compromised when he was asked that there were some people there who were giving out information. How you think, how you call a chief investigator of the Liberian National Police will be bribed with almost $10,000? Why do you think so? How do you think people like Stanton will get the information, get document, all the other things? People are hungry in that place there, you know, because it is intentional. The government have denied these people of opportunity to get jobs. So at the end of the day, you send small money, they're willing to even give you Joseph Newman Boakai, how you call medical record. They will put it aside. They will put it aside. So we are getting the information. So when that information came that Biago resigned, he'll know that lie. He went on Facebook page already. Or just looking at him, say, at the appropriate time, Omen will know. And the reason why Joseph Newman Boakai don't want to accept that particular resignation, he is reluctant, is because, look, Joseph Newman Boakai is not caught in the web. This man has been a crook for a long time. People who know Joseph Newman Boakai from his young days, Joseph Newman Boakai, they were the people who were doing what you call cockroach business in Liberia back in the early 70s and 80s. These were the people who were, you know, the man is a crook. He's a natural crook. He has been using people. So this man don't want to let this man go because he believed that at the end of the day, there will be too many secrets that will come up. Because Biago will not be a fool, even though you see he perplexed, he looking that kind of way. But at the end of the day, Biago will want to. They know I can be the sacrificial lamb. I want to talk. So at the end of the day, boy can say, oh man, you know what happened? Gregory Como call and say, Papa, don't lie, man, go. Don't send no letter. Call him, man, Biago, and say, Biago, we hear anything together, oh, brother, man. Anything here, we got to make sure we got to finish it. The evidence, we got to destroy it. You can't leave me one anything here. I want to put you down there for. Be a man. Be a soldier. Yalla, a soldier. He said, yeah. He said, okay, but man, we're going. You can leave us behind. This is the kind of situation that we are faced with. For Biago to write a communication like Choko is saying, told the justice minister who is also an appointee of government, to write a communication to it. What happened to the president? So you get respect for president again. The president war, and not get weight again. The president again, in that man where you're supposed to read to again, my people. Even naturally, let's look at it from a common setting, right? And I want to thank you, my brother, Chokon, for bringing this up. Let's look at it for a natural setting. Amen. Me and you appointed Say, oh man, you the deputy for this, you deputy for that. If I have issue and I want to resign, who do I go to? Do I go to my man who me and the same deputy, or I go to the chief that appointed us? So you can see that, look, even in their means to cover up their track, they are still messing up. In their attempt to say, let's cover all our track, let's do the one. For each time they try to cover all track, they open another Pandora box. Each time they try, they open another Pandora box. That's why, and I like what you said about people who are criminals and with the truth or with the lies. Because the thing is, we are in a society where it's too sophisticated. For an 89-year-old man to think that you get cajole us. 89-year-old man sit down and get feed that like will put all of them in one basket and we get cajole there, all of them will fall for it. No, Papa, we're begging you. We respectfully disagree. My brother Jake, take it from here. What do you make of that? I know we talk about it, but let's get your take before we move on to our next issue.
You said something, you said something here. Let me say something here. I challenge the unity party. Everybody that were appointed by the president, everybody get letter signed by the president. Prince, if we dig deeper, reality, majority of these appointments were never signed by the president. They were never signed by the president. You see the formation of the people government. Everybody was doing their own thing, bringing people. The president also wanted an appointment. Let me tell you that one the guy you're talking about never direct the letter back to the president. People him pick there and put them in position. Please, seriously, if the president, if the government appointed like 500 people, 600 people, believe me, they can be of forensic signature expert in our country. Joseph Boakai will cry for his life. Majority of these people that are appointed by the president, now his signature, he's not in control. He said he was never in control for the formation of the government. People will say here, you're breaking people, other people breaking people. He was not in total control. Most of the signature, I get to know now. The economic freedom fighter, the so-called economic freedom fighter, want to be like Julius Malema and Gonkwe. Gonkwe said something today, I'm not today or yesterday. He said that DEA position, should they wanted for him to become the DEA boss in marching. I see why this guy was preaching propaganda against George Weah. Now we put the pieces together, followers. You see, all of them was in bed. They lied. They said they were having economic freedom fighter to check government official or for the country. But not knowing all that parade, they were parading, writing hate pieces and all of this in the country. If you look at the estimate for now, you know that all of them were in bed because it never went away. So, but there was nothing about economic freedom fighter. Gumba know nothing about economy. He knows nothing about in the country. That they were just portraying and saying that guy in South Africa, like Julius Malema for South Africa. So they wanted to have that kind of situation in Liberia. But not for the people, not for the citizens. They were just doing it for that. How can you be an economic freedom fighter? You're only against one person. Only against George Weah. Only George Weah. But he better a political party. No, not have economic freedom for the country, for the whole country. The government come, the other government come. You checkmate everybody. You say the right thing, but all of them were biased. They were all propagandists. For a statement I know, because other people went to the president, you cannot appoint governor, you cannot do this. So please, if you look at everything they're doing, the president, you're not aware of anything about going in the country. What you can see today, the government in disarray. The president never signed most of the signature. Like why not the Biago guy you're talking about now referring letter to the minister. But because the president already appointed, the people pick me and say, Mr. President. So when they sign the president's signature, please, I tell you something serious here. If you take for all the guys that get letters, if you take forensic expert, a signature expert in that country, Boakai will cry. You will say, what? People believe me sometimes. So the checks are going on, the million of diesel are going on. The president aware nothing. The man is sleeping on the wheel. The man is not in control. Liberia, you put yourself in Oh, in the 3 years of period, we get grandparents. We got what grandparents say. They know how to walk. We don't take them to bathroom. They think that left. It will happen to everybody. It happened in America. Prince Joe Biden was 82. They gotta replace him with Kamala Harris. You know the story. He was all over the place. He couldn't walk, driving all over the place. It was sound a reality. The thought is not there. It happened to every old people around the world. That's a society. We pray. A lot of people pray to reach that age. So the president in control. When Jeremiah can tell you, the president bring what going down in 2023. Imagine 2021, 2022. Now imagine now. Imagine now. Then they still want keep the president. The 40 for the president will be 86, going to 87 choke to 2029. Now slapping the face. Imagine the men in control now. Everybody calling the shot. Then they won't keep him for 2029 because they want for Jeremiah to come to power. For Jeremiah to replace the president because the president is seriously feeble. That why nothing working in the country. That why you will see the other man making statement, When last the president have gone to era where he say, this project for me, this thing for me? No. They don't fool the president, say, let go so the president goes so. Let go so the president goes so. So, Prince, when I get distracted, the president would never, Prince, already know the whistleblower told the Liberian people, senior government official. The ORC men are senior government official. No, he's just a DA guy. We're talking about the senior government official. Greco Como said it. If they can bring none of these people to just and tell the Liberian people, this thing are black. We're talking about it, but they will never rob them because they did rob one government, senior government official. They will call the other people in. So that why they call this, I said this is one of the biggest cover of since in Liberia. This is one of the biggest cover of 370 million jobs, senior government officials involved. We're speaking all over the world on the international investigator. They're trying to come to the country to investigate it. Who are the senior government officials that people covering up? This is the biggest cover up since 1847. We are 179 years, so it never happened before. So people were talking, and not them bring nobody from the senior level. All these people they catching. I call them kekele, like lay level people, but want to know the real big fish. It's in the DA whistleblowers. He never lie. The one is sacking. He knows. You know what? Probably he will not talk what some people need because probably he left threatening. The whistleblower protection probably they will not protect him until he probably on that man leave Liberia. Then he was able to spare the beach. But a lot of them bring no senior government official. Chokon will talk. They will never want to bring none of them. After they bring them, they will be damage to the international community.
Thank you. My brother Choco, I want to ask you this question. From the very beginning, we were told by the man who was in charge of this entire thing. He was the spokesperson, the chief investigator. I don't know. Gregory Como, the man is just an expert. He was the scene fire expert when the issue happened again. The ball was there. I mean, the ball is all over the place. Financial matter is there, the other driving thing is there. Everything, the ball is there. Do you think that he misspoke when he said, big hands are involved? That people are now demanding and people are now saying that these big hands must come up, knowing very well that he was in charge of it from the very beginning. He was the spokesperson. When even they were called at the Senate, to go and then answer some questions and etc. He was the one presenting for all of them. He spoke and etc. Do you think that he misspoke maybe at the time for which now people are saying that there are more big fish and these big fish must come out or there are more big hands? How do you look at it? Also, how do you bar this argument or the point from Detroit that he said, the president is not in charge? Most of these things that were signed by other people. What is your take on this? Let's get from you, sir.
Thank you, Sherry and Detroit. Though, let me say this to you. Gregory Cobo made this statement 3 times, right? But the more recent statement he made that statement from his heart. That was a direct attack to President Boakai. Do you know that Gregory Como was first on the list of dismissal? The most recent list where the president suspended some people and dismissed some people. Gregory Como was hinted that the president was about to dismiss him because of his involvement with a drugs trafficking issue. Do you know why Gregory Como made that statement? You know, all the time they were saying it, they were just saying it in passing, oh, that government official, that government official. But if you look at the last video, the last time he made that statement, he said, tap, tap, very, very tap. Go to the video. He said, very, very tap. Government official. He made emphasis in bold letter that very, very tap government official. That was a direct attack to Joseph Boakai. At that point, he has given up already. That was a warning shot that if you dismiss me, I will throw everything I know. It better all lose than for me to lose. That was the point at which Gregory Como spoke from. And we got our people everywhere. That's why when people say they are hunting sedition, I just look at them and laugh. Even some of the very people that were there in the people water now are now sedition, so I don't know how they're going to hunt sedition. So, in my submission, that was a direct attack and strong warning to Joseph Boakai that Gregory Como sent to him. He said, you fire me, when I explain you say you're not staying in the country, you run away. And as I close, like Detroit said, the president is not in charge. I disagree with you. Look, these people campaign in this country and they make everyone ought to understand that when your woman refuses you in bed, you are responsible. When you don't get water to drink, you are aware that you don't get water to your house to drink. These people think that when you are president, you are superhuman, you are omnipresent, you everywhere in the country to the extent that when child find school to go, you job where you are responsible. I'm not going to take that excuse. As far as I'm concerned, Joe Boakai is in charge. Joe Boakai knows about everything. But why would you say Joe Boakai don't know about everything when he get remember people that he get married for? I find it difficult to get that. Joe Boakai got married. He got lists of people that he got married for. Joe Boakai remembering people. Remind the LCC, go for the one, go for the one, go for the one, go for the one, go for the one. Even though there is no substance indicated, Joe Boakai pushes the LCC to go after people. And then Joe Boakai is not in charge. Joe Boakai is fully in charge. Joe Boakai, but you got the intelligence from his very office that when the NSA told him that his two sons are with the drug trafficking issue, how you think we got to know that Joe Boakai brought down in tears? So he's in charge. He just chooses to be wicked. He chooses to be wicked. Look, the brother came to the presidency with malice. You know, there are certain group of people in the country that false sense of entitlement. That's the same thing that took us to war for 14 years of civil war. Certain people just sat down and just said they country for us. By fire, by thunder, by all being possible when we are not leading, if the cause us to bring war, will bring war. You saw George, we are presidency. These people destined themselves, they had complete war of hate against the government. So the extent that friends, our own friends that we want in the other way, they refer to us as devil worshippers. They told us that we love George. Was a campaign they ran because they felt entitled to Liberia presidency. And Joe Boakai is one of them. So, the job with all due respect, Joe Boakai is in charge. Joe Boakai is aware of everybody that is appointed. Joe Boakai is aware that people are selling cocaine. So, yeah, I mean, even this cocaine D, listen to the cartel. They said it clearly that we spoke to President Boakai through his son. So you will say Joe Boakai down here where? And when somebody told me that the president brought down here, I mean, with my town, I think. Probably he brought that in here in pretense, but he's aware. I submit.
Brother Chokon, we are getting a disturbing news. Mr. Boyka continued to project that he's going to fight drugs. He's going to ensure that this thing is fight from the very beginning. And we are saying this not because we just want to say it, but because these were the promises that they made. These were some of their strong points during the campaign when they said the drugs that were coming in was done by the CDC-led government. And they have what it takes to be able to stop it from coming in, to deal with it decisively. They understand, they have the experience, they can make things to happen, etc., etc. This was a key agenda discussion or a key item on the agenda of these people campaign. They went all over the place and campaigned about this. To the extent that they projected Joseph Newman Boyka as a holy man. Say you see that deacon coming. So the deacon would not take nonsense when it kind of drop in. It would fret them. It would not be easy. God ready men are God men. And that was the kind of picture that they portrayed. And to the extent that we saw Mr. Boyka deceitfully walking at the JFK. According to him, he was going to take the drug steps. We saw that video. Giving the public false impression that I read it now. It will not be easy. Here's me, I'm taking drugs. I read I will deal with people. If my ministers are involved, I will deal with them. Only for us to reach to this place that Boyka will be involved in this particular thing, then it's scary. But what is even more concerning is with all of these drug bursts and everything going on, not only the people they have whole ship on the sea, bringing in their drugs, bringing their consignment. Whole ship, I mean, hell ever be ship on the sea, bringing their things. They ship here where, according to them, it had engine problem. It had fuel problem. It could not move. It could not move nowhere. It was hitching one place. They made distress call. To the extent people who are in government call and say, man, they ship here, they come and sing now. They ship, they almost at the verge of sinking. You're not a Liberian country, it will not be easy. They ship, it will sink. It can't move. They ain't got no gas. In fact, the engine spoiled. This die, all the other things. My brother, later we saw this ship here that were on the water to Freeport. Many were looking at. It went all the way to Cape Man. For Cape Man now in Ivory Coast. From information that we have gathered, the Americans who are our partners are helping in this investigation asked that the Liberian government arrest that particular ship. According to the information, Mr. Boyka was intentionally lackadaisical, was intentionally slothful, was intentionally just, I don't care. Only because they had something on that ship that they didn't want it to be arrested. They told us that they say, how you call speedboat? They say speedboat, they say the speedboat, it can't go on the water. Certain place, the speedboat, it can't go there. But why it is true that we get fancy men in our Nukutanse and West Point, where can taste kino, I mean steak. The only thing that made that thing to make people have sophisticated, the boat they can put on it, that engine. They can take that all the way Ghana. For all the way Ghana, bring it straight to Liberia. With hell about goose inside for me, I've seen it before. How you call
Yeah.
on the place there. I grew up in Nukutan, I play with one, so that one and not anything. I used to see them used to bring it. They cook they kin on there, fancy kino. The men can bring it from Ghana straight to Liberia. But Liberia now, I want people telling us say the speedboat where they get bad Nukutan water, it will sink. My brother Chokon, the government intentionally allowed that particular ship to leave because they want to destroy evidence. But thank God for our international partners, the United States of America. I said, no, we will conclude with this investigation and everything that we see fishy will be brought to book. And they were able to contact the Ivorian government and say, let that particular ship be arrested. What are these people feeling destroying evidence, or what are evidence stay there? We are yet to know. But even what is even more concerning, and I want to hear your take, they shape here where they say the engine was not working, no gas was inside, nothing was coming. How can it manage to land to Ivory Coast? My brother, let's get your take on this particular. What are you getting? What are you hearing?
So, Honorable Sherry, see, I share something. In order to be a very good criminal, you have to first master life. Because you are talking to smart people now. Hmm? It's almost like reading somebody on something that is seen as black. That person go from breath to be black, and you are obligated to convince that person to make that black white. Think about it. I'm not talking about an idiot. I'm talking about educated person, smart, if possible smarter than you, to outsmart that person to convince them. I mean, so to be a good criminal, you must first learn how to lie, and you must learn how to lie very well. The government continues to sink in its own excesses. You know, I told somebody that the easier side of politics is to be in opposition. The most difficult one is to be in government. Come to think about it. Somebody can just, I and my friend can just walk down Broad Street, I buy Kool-Aid, and red Kool-Aid, put it in, mix it, in water and whisk it on him, and and just create a drama. Say, my man, just I let somebody just chop you, and broad day on Broad Street, and I would just record you, how I'm just attack you. That I post that video, right? That video will go viral. Many people will not investigate whether that was actually blood or that was Kool-Aid. Out of the maybe 1,000 people that will see that video, at least 900 of those people will conclude, like the red thing that they saw on that mention, it is blood. The time you will take to actually come up with a real truth to verify whether that truth is lie or not true, it takes time, right? So opposition life is easy to lie. You can say you will bring Jesus, yeah, even though he go heaven, you can say anything. It can easily slide. To do that in governance is difficult. If government say, oh, the entire relay, everybody order get power water, everybody order eating 4 times a day. You made that statement, the protest will start from relay when that information is false and misleading. I think that is the government they are finding it difficult to leave the opposition alive and get confronted to governance life, right? So come to think about it. Look at it. Look at some of the things they consider propaganda. That one for me, I can disagree with them. When they say they know propaganda, I can agree with them. Because it makes no sense. Look at the example that you just gave. I spent some time in Riverside County, right? My hometown. I know how far the people can go with their fountain kino. In fact, even the cool kino here, they want to not get machine. They want to just get steak, what they can get used to pay. I know the kind of fish your body can grab with that thing. They may get any grab fish bigger than the kino they can be using. I'm a witness. I saw that in Riverside County. I know how deep those guys can go. Wait, and I say fountain kino I get machine. I say cool kino the one minute get hold the stick and just pull the water to move. So when the guy said the shape guy no they they continue to sink because the government has created a space where nobody trusts them anymore. And it is dangerous in governance. When the citizens have concluded that you cannot be trusted, chief, even if you are saying the truth, nobody will believe you. See the kind of sinful thing. Where in the world the military they agree to share that issue, they share sport, this. You don't have prior notice as to what the information is actually truth. Eh? The armed forces of Liberia, the last hope of our security architecture. You're going on a mission, then you take Facebook, you hey, I'm a water there, yeah, two side. Okay, make sure everybody get water. I just sit and say, Jesus. That's what I always say this. You can go to school with the intention of getting the knowledge. But there are two ways of coming out of school. The school either pass through you or you pass through the school. When I say people can say I'm being too rude. Detroit, what's the essence of making 10, 15 years in school when you come up with no knowledge? And our friends in the Unity Party will always say they educated, they educated, they educated. But in the application of what they claim to have gotten, they are all 40. How can somebody claim to be educated when all of their decisions, their arguments are all 40? Look on Facebook. You post one thing against the government, the only response they will have for you is man and power cost. These are the people that are telling you that they are educated. You come to me, lecture me about education. What's the logic? Look, and even to even make matter worse, the very shape it took ordinary K Martini to take the shape picture. You know that Fanti Menete the shape picture? Eh? La Fanti Menete the shape picture official men, they took the shape picture. The very shape, the security already have information that Mark Ivan Kuya, the son to the president, wrote a communication concerning Nazi shape. For somebody to sit down here and say Liberian government investigating cocaine, then you're not serious. They mean you are not just, you either choose to be dumb or you are part of the cocaine cartel, who is the supporters of the government. The thing, it is clear. It is clear that there is a government official policy to sell cocaine. There's no argument about it. Everyone they are on call up. Every one of them. Private security, they can be going on operation and record and say they think about the armed forces of Liberia going on a mission that is nationally focused. And you take Facebook and get in 2 sack of water, make sure everybody drink. Like the guys are all, I think the guys are cursed. Go continue to fight for Liberians. That's why I can disagree with people who say opposition not talking. What do you need to talk? What do you need to talk? You protest here, the border away, how I don't owe you for nothing. The people curse is falling on them, the rain. The government is being forced on a daily basis. You go over there, the border away, how I don't owe you for nothing. The people are collapsing under their own weight of calamity. You don't need any protest. So, in conclusion, everybody in Liberia, I'm on ground here. I'm here. That's why when I speak, I speak from the first information. I'm not in Europe or anywhere. No disrespect to you guys in America and other parts of the world, right? But when I speak, because I got sources here that either I will directly, not on telephone, now they say directly. So when I speak, and get to them because I gave information as a on full first hand, the entire government is uncovered up. It is shameful, but that is the situation we have. I know you guys in America, you have your children in Europe and other parts of the world going to school. I know the kind of embarrassment that you guys children are going through immediately introducing themselves as Liberian. I know how horrible it can be. The kind of reception they receive to be a country that is considered as a just country. I can understand. But that is the calamity we are in. And we have to confront this for the next time. Thank you.
My brother Jake, we have immigration on the land. We'll take care of our borders and other security apparatus. For the government to tell us, like my brother is saying here, that Fanti men will go on sea, they go do that go do that fishing business to report a ship. Now, all this ship here, looking suspicious. What is running through your mind? That Coast Guard, are we paying? We get Coast Guard people doing the armed forces day or doing flare day. You can see them. They can take the how you call it, the boat, and put it over the you know. At sometimes it hard because this is my this is my institution. You know, but again, Nigeria is more than any institution. You can't. But we take the boat and put it over motor car. And you're moving with it. They say, yeah, you see many in work clothes, you see them get injured for heaven. But today, the people are telling us that our boat they can be passing with. It can't go nowhere from Nukutan water. It just red water Nukutan. If you try it, go 2 miles away from the Nukutan water, it will sink. My brother, so are we safe as Liberians? The people who are supposed to protect our waterways, our borders. What you thinking about the whole ship business? Where they say the Ivorian government have arrested it thanks to our international partners.
Prince, let me ask
Yes,
you. Well, I know, and maybe probably Choco know, or the followers that know, we get a free port, we get port of Picano, probably San or Maryland. Let me ask you, because you're from Grand Cayman, they get any port in Grand Cayman?
well, actually, Grand Cape don't have,
You
the
see,
kind of
there's
like
this mini port that ship can land. Because I've never been to Grand Cayman.
no that thing that Kino area there. They
Okay,
didn't get any
let
kind
me
of
tell you
that
something.
big
Prince,
port. Yeah.
you let dig deeper. We are smart people too. Why that ship not come to the free pool or on the water? Pray, let me say something to you people here. The unity party again, as Chokon said, before we should say Chokon should be angry. Oh, what city is not coming? What job we're not talking about? Chokon get the whole reality now. Look at Chokon now saying we not nobody should care for protest whatsoever before the world had water on them. Because why? The destroying that said that God confusing them. When the pastor said it, they were thinking, oh, the pastor lying. Everything that they even howling, they coming on, everybody get to know. The question we should ask ourselves, why that shame were over there for? He grand came on. Preach, and that God expose these people. Then people are ready to get banned at drugs. Choke on. You remember the cartel people, according to the video, they threatened the president, family, the presidency, everything. So that thing they said, they all the brain, the jaw, the brain, what kind of tone. Okay, even the balloon, the brain have when the balloon tone. That shaking for the balloon drops because you cannot play with that cartel. But wait, like that somebody exposed it. Leakage was inside them that had they exposed that shape and other things. But pray if you pick everything big up and you put the pieces together, that shit we're not breaking goose in Liberia. That shit we're not coming out humanitarian or something. That ship running away, that ship ran away. The ship was there to get a ballot consignment. That the way news kind of means to get a consignment. But when Labrador start taking out on that ship, the other thing that they got flagging, even so secret members are leaking some information and things. And let me tell you, I told you the whole country is divided 50-50 or 60-40. 60% of that country support George Weah, even down in the security apparatus. Because the president they brought to power, he wish something, he doing all these things, want to promote our country, doing our land, all these things. And you think that the security apparatus, everybody that unity parties, no, even members of the unity party, they don't agree with 82 years of Boakai. They know anything can happen. That another Jeremiah could have become president in the trigger of the eye. Anything happened to the president. So reality was that's it. That in there. So Prince, let me tell you something for me, not shaking for a purpose. That's shaking for a purpose, Prince. So I think that shit came for a purpose. I will join you later. Somebody knock him and do it.
So
You
this
can go,
this
you
this
can
is
go
the
ahead.
issue, right? This is the issue. The thing is, you have people who believe that at any point in time they must get what they want to get, and this is something that you know for some time that sorry, I'm sorry. I tried to get something. So Elton, just send it back. I'm sorry that I did that. So the thing is, I'm sorry. So the thing is, like I'm saying, these guys are doing everything to ensure that they can cover up. They are not doing it to save the Liberian people. No, they are doing it intentionally so that at the end of the day, the name of the president and his family can be wiped out of this. Why you think we saw the EPS director at the $1 billion drugs that were captured? Why we saw the EPS director? Why you think we saw him there? So we should ask ourselves that question. Why you are seeing on the scene? Why is it that now we are not getting briefing from him? Like I said, it was intentional. They went there to destroy evidence. They didn't go there because they wanted to, probably, see, that they can be able to do investigation. No, that was not what they went there for. And I'm saying this because of what is happening. You look at the trend of events and you can judge and you can see that, yeah, this thing here, this is how it is, and this is how it is. Because from all indication, it's like somebody want to cover up, somebody want to destroy evidence, somebody don't want for their name to come up, somebody don't. When the police is compromised, all of those around, how you call Gregory Como, all of them, all compromised. But at the end of the day, Gregory Como still staying out there. He say, the man, he the only man. He will not wear. Nobody not moving. He beg G's. And nobody not taking him nowhere. Just that you might work out to, the paper relax. In a serious institution where it is alleged, we are here, we live in the Western world. It is alleged and it is seen that you collect even a gift from somebody that is compromised. In a country where people can easily resign for their needs. Say, they did, I don't want to be involved. We have seen lawmakers in this country where they just they took public money and go enjoy themselves to their children program. The next day the people say, oh man, it can be, and they resign straight. We are seeing lawmakers then who decided during Corona time, they're not doctors, they are not medical people. They are just lawmakers then. During Corona time, they say, let's go enjoy ourselves. Let's go to our family. We'll go sit down somewhere, we'll go enjoy ourselves, live it. The people may not be under the kind of reason straight. Morals. But in our country, you will catch the men say, here will be in the cookies that I say, oh man, you say, give me chain. What happened? That me alone, you see. In Liberia, you can see Rock and Bad G. The men still, they say, oh, that Rock is over. What happened now? When you running back, when making not be me for? That I know now Steve on you before. You can see Rock. And what happened in the government? That's the reflection of the government. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. The people are broad day corrupt. When you bring other corruption, the first thing they can call over President we are and President we are yeah. As soon you get a chance for you to talk about it, they will not call nobody new. They will call President we are new. When people said that we move President we are, the man who finish moving long time, the man on you going to a football, you working with FIFA and going, as soon you make mistake that President we are needed will call. So then what is the essence of taking over? What is the expertise that you bring to this discussion? What is the change? Oh, you're waiting for President we are. But when we talk, up to now, when we talk about development, they say, oh, that President we are. We talk about another one here, oh, that President we are. They man, where you're feeling moving from that long time ago, you have made a very strong case, and the people agree with you for the sake of the argument. Let's agree. We all know what happened. We're there, but let's agree for the sake of the argument. The people agree with you and say, okay, President we are. You're not qualified. We don't want you again. Go sit down. But then you're still crying. Enjoy. Oh, that President we are. Oh, no, that President we are. Oh, what our president we are, but we are grateful, fellow Liberian, to be joined by our brother Elton, the legend Wisse. Chief, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, please. Am I audible enough?
Very loud and very audible. Thank you so much. You are relaxing with the family. I didn't even expect you to come on video. No,
Myself.
yeah,
After working in a couple of hours, so let me speak in the time that I have. It's always a delight sharing the platform with fellow Liberians, as we all are very passionate about our country. So yeah, I'm here.
Thank you again for joining us. But let me just get to you, my brother. I'm very sure you are following what is happening with the issue of these drugs that have claimed the international attention. As we speak now, our international partners, and we must say thanks to them for doing exceptionally well, who have intervened, and now the ship has been arrested, while Liberia refused that they were not arrested for whatever evidence, I don't know, but it has been arrested. Now, all these things that is going on. Yesterday, we saw a communication from the LDA boss, the man who is supposed to fight drugs. Is now compromised to the extent that he has given up. In other words, you say, me and I part of the investigation. What my hand for is, and I'm there. I know who will go look for again. But my brother, what are you looking at? What are you seeing with this entire drug saga? $19.2 million underestimated. Now the people say 300. We all are live. Even if we not know algebra or we not know how you call the thing, say how you call quadratic equation, but we know that that particular calculation they made, it was not correct calculation. But all of these things that we are seeing, my brother, what is your take on this?
Thank
How
you,
are
thank
you
you.
looking at things? From which one of the lens are you looking at it? Thank you again
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
Firstly, let me start by saying this is a huge platform. Yesterday, we have several outlets who are relaying the program, and it's only fair that we do the listening audience and people in the viewing land justice. So, with that said, let me say here that if President Boakai was born 1944, a simple math, if you subtract 1944 from 2026, from 2026, that person will say just about 82. So let's just establish the age of the president. So it's only why that would do people fear. The president cannot be 89, not 86 or anything else. So he's just about 82 years old. If you subtract, like I said, simple math, 2026 from you subtract 1944 from it, that's what you would get. So having established that, let
So
me say this.
is it that you're establishing it based on what he said or
No.
based
I'm
on
establishing it
evidence
because
that
you all did not have his age right earlier. If you go back, everything is recorded nowadays. If you go back to the inception of the show when I started watching, you all were probably didn't have the right age of the president. But if you go back and rewatch the show, you'll see that somebody said he's 89, another person said he's 86. We're not even going to nitty gritty of that. I just try to establish that his age cannot be anything close to 89 or 86, but the number is there. Like I said, if you subtract the current year from the year you were born, is 82. So having cleared
is
that, let's
based
get to
on
the
the
issue.
information that he provided. That's what you are saying, right? I
Yeah,
mean, from the
but
information he
let me
provided.
get to the issue of what's unfolding in the country. Look, there is something the book people call optics. Is how something appear to you, the visual, what you see when something comes to you. Like for instance, today we are dealing with a ship that is sitting on our waters, and the optics doesn't look good considering what is unfolding in the country. And that's why a lot of Liberians struggle with their objectivity. That's why people are not truthful to themselves. Like I will always establish on this platform, I feel very comfortable sharing my thoughts with you guys because I have a different political persuasion. I believe in this president versus a lot of you on the platform who believe in the previous president, His Excellency George Weah. But I'm always going to be confident coming here because I always come here with objective stance, objective or criticism of the power that be today and the past government of Weah. So let me get to the issue of this. The optic doesn't look good for this government because we are in a time where we are faced with a huge drug crisis and then a sinister shape dark in the country. The timing is just off. So it puts the government in a very tight and a terrible position. That's the same thing we said when Trokan was speaking. I was listening to Trokan and I was chuckling in the bar, I was smiling like, yeah, this is what people don't realize. Look, the truth cannot hide. You see, when you have or sitting or representative then Akaras Gray, when the Liberian people forewarned him not to go to the UL campus to go and engage students because the timing and the optic did not look good, and he forced himself and went there, that contributed hugely to a defeat to Prince Toast today, and there's no secret. That one Gray lost his position. So the government today looks very bad with this ship lingering in our Liberian territory, in our Liberian water, because of what we are dealing with today, Prince. And so we got to speak as Liberian first, and that's all my take was yesterday. When I came on, there was an error. Jake said the government lied or is lying to the U.S. government about having new mineral. And I came and refuted and I established the facts. I came with the facts. I said it is true. The current foreign minister of Liberia, Sarah Beslo Nyanti, she went to the U.S. and she met with Marco Rubio, and she told Rubio honestly that we do have new mineral, or like lithium is in the country, cobalt, they discovered the mineral, and they want the U.S. to tap in. And I provided why, because the U.S. is trying to go away from China, who is a stiff competition to the US today, and go to smaller countries like Liberia and other countries that have natural mineral, because US heavily invested in electric cars, and we all know lithium is widely used in car battery. That's why America was looking to Liberia and other countries to help in that direction. And that's all I did. So, like I said, I came here to speak the truth, put Liberia first. And even though I support this president, yesterday I was before I could even criticize this government for anything, I established it. I said when this government came to power, the first mistake they made was on day one. They had an inaugural program, and who here doesn't know, and which other Liberian around the world didn't watch that it was a flop at the inauguration ceremony when there was poor ventilation that almost caused the death of the president. Which Liberian who followed the trends of even in Liberia doesn't know that when we came to power, Amin Moda, he was sent to commerce and he used the government funds to purchase a luxurious car for himself. I wish he was forced to resign. And to this day, I'm still clamoring on this government to take action and investigate, and if need be, prosecute. Who doesn't know that I have gone on my page and critiqued this government for the FOIA project that have been done so sinister that the president claimed not to know about then? But in the end, he came out and said the people to inform him about it down the stretch. Initially, he didn't know, and we seem, in my opinion, to this day, as a deception. Because first of all, we know how African presidents are. A president not going to sit there in an erect or huge structure in his backyard, and he doesn't know about it. So it seems a little cacophony to me to this day. So when I come on the platform, brother, I will always come with honesty. And against that backdrop, I'd like to say to you, Jake, I want for Prince to establish a one-on-one engagement with me like you requested. And I'm always going to be open to it because I come from a communication background. Like I would tell people who are demonstrable education in a degree in mass communication. And I love to communicate my thoughts because I try my hardest to always be as honest, Prince. So I'll leave it at that and we'll continue the forum.
Yes, so before I move on, I want to ask you a question. From what you are observing, the recusal, of the LDEA boss, other people who the police director said, to the extent that the police director said, oh, the men are just innocent students. When he appeared at the Senate, he was asked, he said, yes, there was a boy, who transported it, but I mean, just an innocent student, and all of these things that are happening. Do you think that this government is sincere in this fight against this major drug burst in Liberia, or you think they are trying to shield people, from being persecuted? What is your take on this?
Prince,
Yes,
I'll give you a full disclosure, my brother. Look, I alluded to that already. I support this president, but I have not received a penny from anyone in this government. Considering I use my voice when Spoon had a late night show before the election to speak for this president who I thought was an elderly statesman to come to power. And to this day, I still speak for this government when things are right, and I will always checkmate this government when things aren't right. And my answer to that is no. There are still big fish that we do know from the level of information that we've heard from the like of the Spoon TV, the critical advocate Martin Cody and the like. We know there has to be other people whose names are still lingering out there that need to be brought up. And that doesn't negate the fact, and to anyone who thinks that or LDEA boss is not a big fish, that person may not know anything about governance, because the head of a whole drug enforcement agency, which is the head of a major security enterprise, has to be a big fish. It has to be a major state actor. So don't be deceived. If anyone tell you that Fitzgerald Biago is not a big state, he is a big state. But the honest truth is there has to be a lot more people who need to be brought to book. And if we must do justice to Liberia, we need to keep pouncing on the government until they do the right thing. And I will say this. Yesterday I said it. We dealt with drugs under Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We dealt with drugs under former President George Mananwia, the greatest African soccer player ever. No one can change my mind on that. And we are dealing with drugs today. And this government is doing its best so far, because there have been people brought to book, there are people forced to resign, and there are people who are incarcerated today. But at the same token, more has to be done because the fish gets rotten from the head, Prince.
Thank you so much. My brother Chokon, before we come to our brother.
Let me respond a little bit to Eton before Chokon comes.
Go ahead.
Let me say something to the followers here. You know, actually, Etona Unity Party, I already know who Eton is. Eton was a Gongro guy because most of them in America, they support Gongro. But because Gongro don't have the taste, he don't have that charisma and other things there, or me go a policy or a agenda, not say well with the Liberian people, then probably most of them run to the Unity Party because they cannot swallow their own war by against George Weah. Let me say something to you. When he came on the platform, he said people misquote the president age. I said the president by 2029 will be 86, going to 87 years old. He already feeble. If everybody get grandparents, well, 86, 87. And you look at it, you probably get grandparents or parents. 86, we know you live in America. I get an example on Joe Biden, who was 82. You were feeble. Nothing was happening. He had to. The Democrats had to force him to get to Kamala Harris. Another thing you talk about. You say, oh, Besro Yanti went to Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Let me tell you, was just a photo op. I will give you, we'll get video. Yeah, you see, while the debate is easy for us here, that different from every platform around the world, in Atom, with a relay video. We're not preaching propaganda. Like way before that time, you will see all of them. They get reading from notes. Ivory Coast, they will never play nothing. Will lie to the Liberian people. There is a game changer. Now, why only the palaver in 2020? Somebody will get 1 point because we don't relay video to compare. The president said on a statement, we discovered new mineral. You name some magnesium, lithium, all these things there. My question to you, he engaged. Now the Chinese government already, they survey Liberia. He said we get the president said we get what 10 new mineral. And we really get 10 new minerals of both for the country, if for both for the next generation. My question to you, me I send a photo up, and we get magnesium, all these things. What country they deposit? What country they deposit are? What the lithium deposit? What kind of country the lithium era in Grand Cayman, in Grand Basso?
Is that a question for me?
Listen now. You were talking, I gave you change. So
I gave you a question for me.
Probably we discover new mineral. But I don't believe they will discover no new mineral. They just engage. We hear about new mineral. Then the Boakai, Sarah Besso Nyanti, all the connection they say they get, the Unity Party, they will not engage investors, then to come, American investors, then to come to showcase these things for them to start. It can be maybe today, for the next 1, 2, 3 years, they start manufacturing, then they get into cooking business. So for me, it's a photo op. Nobody can cajole Liberian people. I remember, let me give you one story way back. After you know we were growing up. You remember the last time they say, we hear about the virgin forest, the virgin forest. Liberian people used to say, oh, the virgin forest rich, they get gold, they get diamond. Nothing in that virgin forest. That virgin forest stay packing there for how many years now? Since Samuel Doe the time. You can still remember vividly. The virgin forest was so rich. And the virgin forest was so rich. What? Tata people, experts around the world, they want to invest all kind of things. If they get some kind of mineral there, why the Unity Party not showcasing these things? And what are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? So I told you people, maybe somebody lied to the president because they want to get grace of the president. I'll give you another example before you can come talk. I remember, I think the Ellen Johnson Sally Hall there, they brought some guys in, they say they Mandela Kopo cajole Liberian people, cajole the president. They're talking about they went to talk, they have a forum on AR. When I saw that forum, they brought some Nigerians, some people from South Africa talking about discussing AR. AR, when I knew you need electricity for AR. I live in the Western world. Heavy electricity. They cajole, they took some kind of money from the Unity Party. Where is that AR story today? We don't hear about AR being in Liberia. So let me tell you something. Elton. You get your side, I get my side. Reality, we will not get the same side. But we didn't come here to preach propaganda. We're here to really we do research before we come here. If a president believe that he get a lot of new mineral, then the United Party not get it, but they get all the connections. Why they cannot bring billionaire in the country and start investing all the mineral to start showcasing the mineral there for like people to find job. To find job. And what I say it's a show, it's a lie. I don't believe it. The mountain, I don't believe it. They see what they used to be darting George, we are everything there. So we have the opportunity to debunk that under lies and other things then. But I never told you that the president is 89. I said 2029 will be 86. It's feeble. That reality. So you know the drugs thing is not that watch now. Because they lie on the former government, that's why I'm trying to battle them here. That's why I'm trying to battle them. They lie too much, you know, they lie too much. They lie on the former president. So that's why someone's on the platform here to debunk them.
My brother. So let me. It's not. I don't want it. I don't want us to reduce it to back and forth because it's not. It's,
right. It's not about Jake and I. You're right.
Yeah. Let me give you 10 seconds.
Jake, I've never been a supporter of Councillor Gonglo. So to be honest with you, I don't even know Councillor Gonglo party nomenclature of my head. I always mistake either LP or LPP, something like that. But I do not know. But I've never supported Councillor Gonglo in Liberia. No, not on political lines. Never. So I've never even joined a political institution. But I've always been somebody who believe in ideology. So if I listen to the platform, I hear what the political candidates have to say, then I'll be like, well, I'm going to go with this person. And it is against that backdrop when I thought about where we were under the past government, and I can name a plethora of things that are new coming from a sports background. People don't realize it. Look, Jay, I'm going to send you a picture. Sadly, I'm using my phone. I might have to log onto my computer, which is right next to me, and then send you a picture from my phone with me and President. We are face to face, me doing an interview with him. That picture, all my friends teased me because I was a member of Sports Writer Association then, and they teased me like, you always have proximity where we are. You were the only person on TV when you were young doing sports for Liberia or Lone Star game. You used to be around the president, Diba, and all the guys, and today you are so stern politically against the president. I say, yeah, I love him to death. I'm an IE fan. I love him to death because what he did for Liberia in terms of sports. But on the line of politics, I didn't see him being a good fit for presidency. And fast forward, it proves right until he can come back. Like one of our guys following the thread, Anthony Gay, he asked a beautiful question to you all. If you care, you can answer it. Any suggestion or reaction on this platform, Chokon or Jake, you can answer the question. That's a beautiful question. Anthony Gay, you guys read the thread. He asked, what will CDC do differently? Should we get a chance? I'm summarizing to come back in 2029. I would love for one of you to answer that question. And the reason why I'm saying this, because I didn't support WIA because I felt like if he ascend to power, he will need a lot of people with honesty to support him for him to do well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me just conclude the talk. Typically, the brand put it on honest and proof at the end he was removed because the people who he had behind him tweeted and Magilda, they were not honest, and that's how he flopped. And the Liberian people removed him. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you. To just respond before we go to our brother Chokon, we all know what happened. I mean, the international implication of our elections, the terrible lies that were being told by members of the Unity Party led by Joseph Newman Boakai and etc. So for one to say it was because of this person or that person, I think in my view, that's not the reality. Because some of the things that they were accused of today, the very government has come up to clear them out. The last time we saw a communication from the, I think, LACC on Honorable Nathaniel Magay, giving him a clearance of the allegations that were levied against him. You are seeing what happened to Honorable Samuel Tue. That the Unity Party say, oh, you stole money. He mentored the whole money. He put on, hey, the president. We use the court system. And the court said, no. What you people are saying is not right. But even though we are seeing the government is still trying to impose or will and say, no, they think that we say that, hey, juror, you must agree with us. So, when you say he was removed because of this, that, these are some things that we just need to clarify. That's why people continue to ask. The government said, some of the critics of government, some of the worst critics of government who took to the street and they labeled this government in every form, shape, and manner. Today, they are now demanding that the same government who accused these people, and I don't want you to believe, I want to play something here. All of us can just, listen to it. I want to play something here for us to listen to.
People sitting on Spoon Network telling the Liberian people that they get substantial evidence. They got recording, they got messages to prove that Jefferson Tamakochi was the one who sent Valley today to go and get rid of Global Musu Squad. Unfortunate, this poor girl lost of life, Shadow Musu lost her life. And today, the same people who were fighting their case, they are in power today. One of these people who sat on Spoon Network and talk nonsense with confidence. I talk to some of these people personally behind the scene. They make me believe that they get evidence that Jefferson Kochi was the one who sent Valley to get rid of Musu Scott. And today, the rescue government is in power. These people are no longer talking about coming to prove anything.
So I just want to stop here, my brother, and I want to. I'm very sure you're listening to this. So these were some of the lies that were being orchestrated against these people, and because Liberia, judging from our society and what happened, etc., these things happen. So for one to say it was because of these people, I think the assertion is lacks basic. But again, that's to one his own. People say to everybody their own, and we must be able to respect that. It's just that we must be in the position to clarify, because all of the things that they were accusing this government of, for example, the drugs, said President Weah was importing drugs. Today we are seeing the first family are involved with drugs, to the extent that the son of the president would tell us when others were arguing, other partisans from Unity Party were arguing, oh, I think a fake video, that how you got a sedition and did that thing, oh, I didn't want to do it, and all kind of things they were saying. Today, look at what we are observing. Look at what we are observing. We are observing that the president's son is openly saying, yes, I communicated with these people. We are even seeing exchanges between he and these people. So, these are just some of the things that we want to put up. But let's go to our brother Chokon. My brother Chokon, with this issue of drugs that we are now seeing in Liberia that have taken the center stage.
Prince, I beg your indulgence. I'm logging into my computer, okay? I'll be right back to my computer.
All right. Do you see us getting anytime soon the solution that we want, especially with this government, with the way that they are proceeding? Are you seeing that we are getting somewhere very soon? With the protection, the claim.
Prince?
Hello? You say you getting me? Hello? Are you getting me? You hearing me?
I don't think Choco hearing you. You can hear me now?
I'm hearing you, Jay, but I'm not hearing Prince.
He said he can hear you.
Yeah, but I am getting you. I am hearing you. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. But I don't know.
You can hear you?
Can you?
Connect,
Yeah,
go come
I'm
back.
getting you.
Go come back, Choco.
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Then you go come back quick.
Okay. Yeah, sure, definitely. Sure. So, Jake, let me just ask you this question. From everything that is ongoing, we are now seeing that even the guy at the the prison that the government claimed he was using his phone to
Mm-hmm.
communicate, to even bring money. The guy came out, the guy said, "You must bring that nonsense to me. You all wanted for the jail for you to break Saw Beach so the folk can run away. That's why I wanted to. And I resisted it. And I
Wow.
want to, I think there's a need for us to be able to
Wow.
play something here, the government own, a session on this, the government a session on this from the Ministry of, how you call the place, Justice. The Minister of Justice, saying, oh man, that information that you're giving is not correct information. In fact, they are just saying all kinds of things, all kinds of things. But the man is saying that no, it's not possible. That information you providing, that I took money, I did this, I did that. He said no, the information, they are all misleading, they are false. So basically, he said, the people wanted to break the jail and allow these people to escape. And because he stood in defense of his job, and that was the reason why people coming out to say you want to do whatever. But let me just read what we have here. It's a deputy superintendent for operations. Let me just read a piece of it. The deputy superintendent for operation at the Monrovia Central Prison writes, "Where is the smaller piece of evidence? I spent 6 years as intelligence and investigator within the same Ministry of Justice." Say good morning to all. My name is Jackson. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look here while we something because I don't want. Okay, so he said, my name is Jackson K. Kulako from Laulazu, Deputy Superintendent for Operations at the Monrovia Central Prison. Many of you followed the negative narrative that was spread about my personality. I was arrested by 3 Liberian National Police LMP officers at around 2:00 p.m. on August the 1st. I'm sorry, I need to keep checking. On August the 1st, 2026, while on active duty at the Monrovia Central Prison, on the order of Mr. Siafa Bai Kemukai. Mr. Siafa Bai Kemukai. I'm sorry. Okay, let me take this from here. Okay, Trocon is here. Let me see. I'm finding it difficult looking. I have 4 different sets that I'm using here, so I'm reading from one area to the other. But now Trocon is on. Let me see if I can just go quickly. So it's approximately 30 minutes prior to Mr. Kemukai's arrival at the Monrovia Central Prison, 2 individuals who claim to be agents of the National Security Agency arrived at the prison wearing shirts which are prohibited within the MCP, that is Monrovia Central Prison. They failed to properly identify themselves and refused to record their names and purpose of visit in the visitor logbook, arguing that their mission was covert and that they needed to speak with an inmate connected to the multi-million-dollar drug case. While we were still attempting to establish the legitimacy of their identity and visitation, 2 senior prison staff members who were not assigned at the Monrovia Central Prison arrived and automatically overruled, compromised, and breached the established prison security procedure governing entry into the facility. One of the 2 prison officials reportedly and boastfully stated, "We make the law and we can break the law." As the ground commander were assigned where assignment is greater than rank, I asked whether the chief superintendent of the Monrovia Central Prison and the assistant minister for correction has been informed of their visitation. One of the senior prison officers replied that they had not the further status that the visitation order was above the authority of the Department of Correction within the Ministry of Justice. I asked again, Would you mind if I reach out to them? The same individual replied, go ahead. I paused briefly, located the Deputy Superintendent for Administration, Superintendent Janet K. Said, and informed her of the situation. Together, using my mobile phone, we contacted both the Chief Superintendent of the Monrovia Central Prison, Colonel Roosevelt Vani, and Honorable Gabriel Fayad, Assistant Minister of Correction. Both men expressed surprise and stated that they had no prior knowledge of the visitation after noticing that the inmate being sought were outside his house. Unit of fresh air and excuse, I ordered him to return to his housing unit, and he complied as expected. I then resumed my normal supervision responsibility over approximately 1,800 inmates and nearly 1,000 officers on duty. A few minutes later, I noticed from a distance the presence of Mr. Siafa. Let me just mute this. Uh, I noticed the presence, I'm sorry, a few minutes later, I just from a distance the presence of Mr. Siafa Bakemuka, several LMP officers within the Monrovia Central Prison. I approached him and rendered the customary paramilitary courtesy, where he did not return. Instead, he ordered my arrest in the presence of handful of police officers in a manner that appeared calculated to provoke my officer into resisting my arrest, potentially triggering a riot that inmate could have exploited to execute a mass prison break. Now, I want to stop here. It's very long, but I want to stop here because time is not in our favor. This story is troubling. And thank God. Choka, are you getting me? Okay. This story is troubling. This particular officer is saying, according to him, these guys entered the prison without any information. Look, my people, even if the NSA is carrying on certain operation, there are some higher ups that are tipped off that this is what happening, so as to be able to de-escalate whatever that will happen. Especially entering the Monrovia City, how you call the Monrovia Central Prison, that nobody will be informed according to the officer. The manager enter. Police men, if we go low, plain clothes people enter with some kind of clothes on them that is prohibited. They could not even identify themselves. There were no hints that he received. According to him, he informed his bosses, and his bosses, even that were around, they didn't even know whether these people were coming. My brother Chokon, what is running to your mind? As this guy explained, I'm sorry that I cannot read everything because of time, but what is running to your mind with this entire story? The man is writing. The man is talking, like we said. Like you said, that Gregor Como, if anything happened, Gregor Como too will talk. But what is coming to your mind with this communication from this particular fellow, saying that he acted within law, and those guys that appeared there, they came on their own. Nobody from the entire system was informed. Not even his bosses were hinted, to the extent that he even contacted Fire, and he didn't even know about what was going on. My brother Chokon, what are you getting from this? What are you hearing? What is the sound that this is giving us? Judging that these people are in the custody of the government, and the same government is sending people there, going there with uniform and doing what they are doing. What is it that is happening? What is running through your mind? You are there. What is running through your mind, my brother?
Am I clear?
Very loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with. I'm going to pick up from the statement my brother just made. I basically cautioning everyone of us to be patriotic, and I think this is a responsibility that every one of us as Liberian, whether you are here in Liberia or outside there, we all should be patriotic. From all indication, I read that entire communication, the different exchanges from the guy in question and the justice minister. The first thing I'm gonna bring to your notice is that the first communication the justice minister wrote in regards to the guy, the bring up the Liberian issue, I think the best thing the government can do is to just come up to be patriotic enough to say the truth to Liberians because I think the more they try to shield this information and try to do cover up, I think it is creating more problems for them. That communication was not clear enough.
We are experiencing some glitches from his
The
end.
entire world to honor. Am I clear?
Yeah, when you reach to the place where you said that communication, there was a break out there. We did not get the, I mean, the sentence that followed. So if you can just start from there, we appreciate it.
Hello?
Yeah, yeah,
Am I
yeah.
clear?
Now you are clear. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
You might want to log
wow.
out and re-enter.
We
Yeah,
we
they come back, Prince. That children come
we
back.
are having some glitches from your end.
Yeah, that
So
children come
anytime
back.
you try to explain, there is some, I don't know, some interruption from your end. But let's go to our brother Jake. My brother Jake, this story. Hello, Trokon, are you there? Okay. So this story, the guy who the government claimed that he collected money, he in connection with the people send money on your account, and all the other thing, the men are firing back. Mr. Yoron Binatabata to me. You enter the place without any information, without any notice. At the end of the day, you wanted to do something clandestine, resisted it, you asked for my arrest, and there was back and forth. And at the end of the day, you're coming here to come tell me, say, I, in fact, I was the one undermining and doing this and that. But the guy is firing back. Let's hear from you, my brother.
Yeah,
What,
they
what
made
did
his they made his firing back because probably they want his job. They want his job, so they're doing everything possible to replace him to put up people there. There's an infighting within the Unity Party since they just boss. Yeah. So Prima, you buy your will take it deeper. I just want to address something here to Brother Elton. Elton probably will disagree, but I will say one thing. Elton, when the Georgia story started somehow not on social media, never. We're on the sideline with somebody we know personally.
Yeah, I think he's back. Choco is back.
Okay.
Let's because he's in Liberia, the network there. So we should always give him the first
Yeah, yeah,
preference.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, my brother. Welcome back.
Yeah, so I'm about to conclude. I have
Sure.
to file one for my current, you know. So like I was saying, we all must be patriotic. It is non-negotiable, right? It is a matter of must. But honestly speaking, I think the government needs to do the needful. They must either be truthful, come up clearly, which is extremely difficult to do to admit that. I mean, some government official, it may not be the president himself, but I mean, some government official, due to that grief for riches, unwarranted riches, they got involved with this. And I think the best solution to this whole issue is to just close this as a chapter of business. Whatever cocaine that they got for the people, they get turning over to them. Because the more the government pushes the people in the security sector, I think it kind of create room for more question than answer. Am I clear? Something making sound. Yeah.
You clear,
I
but
So
still
everybody
agree.
else can mute. That would
You
be
are
helpful.
yeah. So the more the government pushes the gas precisely in the security sector, it creates a kind of room for more question than answer. Look at the statement the superintendent wrote. I mean, he just made not just us as Liberian, but the whole world to understand that the current investigation should not be trusted. Look at his statement. I read that statement. I choose not to flag it because we are reaching a point now where in our entire country image is on the line to be a situation that we all will find it difficult. It will take us years to repair this damage. The superintendent made the world to understand that our current investigation, the group of people here should not be trusted. You're talking about taking the evidence and carrying it to Ano Morocco or whatever to say that they should not be the very system he worked in for years. According to I think for I don't know 6 years or how many years. This system should not be trusted. The current investigation should not be trusted. I think I'm more to say. And he said it in a communication that at the appropriate time, I mean, it is troubling. Honestly speaking, it is troubling. And honestly speaking, the government needs to close this chapter. It may not be Joe Bucker himself involved with the cocaine trade, but people that are involved need to close the chapter. Tell the people goes over to them, apologize to them. You may do it, whatever diplomatic means you can use. I know it will be shameful to come open it to a mail to say, oh, people in government were involved with this kind of terrible act. I know you will not want to do it because of the political aspect, but I think it is saddening. The superintendent, the men that control all of the prisoners, to be making such a statement that he don't trust the current investigation, it is troubling. Look at the narrative. Eh? These people know NSA people. They are all security people. NSA man will not can show you how they guys say NSA man. Or any corporate. I'm not a security man. I'm not going to pretend to be one. But they understand the different security jargons and the different languages that they speak. look at the narration. Look at the thing he's saying. They may accusing the government that the private government wanted to break jail to free prisoners. Look at his statement. You can do your own analysis. Eh? The chief of staff to the justice minister in this better communication is intelligently indicting or accusing the chief of office staff to the justice minister that the justice minister chief of staff came with the intention of breaking jail. Follow the communication. Take your time. You may not like, I mean, no, you may think that yes, because I don't support the government. Look at that communication clearly. That this man who is the deputy for the prison will be reading such a communication, intelligently adapting the chief of staff to the justice minister that he came with a plan to break jail to free prisoners. That man is the head of operation out there. For heaven's sake, if you people notice anything, and if information that came on, they say the man gave a phone to the prisoner, I know to one of the prisoners to make call. The last communication the justice minister wrote, he didn't talk about giving phone. The man, he didn't accuse them of giving phone. He said they need to investigate that day. So the thing is almost appearing like, sorry, water people in yellow leaf. You hold it from so, it will slap on the other side. You hold it from so, it will slap on the other side. There is a trouble that is on the lap of President Boakai. And in my mind, the best way to solve it is to be honest. We must be patriotic. Boakai may not be physically involved with the
I think you're gonna having a problem.
Yeah, you know how it is when you in that country.
Yeah, la Liberian. Like he's having problem.
But let's just go to you, Jake, as you conclude from your end.
For me to make it short and just dive in a little bit, I believe the unity, as the president said, God are making new, the unity party making new jobs. They're making new jobs. That be, if it's a senior government official, we're not blind yet. If you follow Gregor video, he was in an angry move. Probably were coming for him now. So he said, I will let it be. I will just say everything. He said, senior government official, even the DEA, the whistleblower, he sat on the podium. He said the executive branch of government, the legislature, the judiciary, everybody intertwined.
So I think he's back. Let him conclude. Yeah, Chokon, go ahead. Yeah,
So
welcome
the
back.
next
Go
show
ahead.
that I'm going to join you, my internet seriously misbehaving. I can't
I
comprehend.
know, I know, I know.
Yeah, salute to you guys. Yeah.
I know it's raining there, Trukon. Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Why raining
Yeah,
there? Go
okay.
ahead,
Yeah,
Jake.
yeah, go ahead, Jake. Go
Yeah, let
ahead,
me
Jake.
just continue quick. So for me, I said the Unity Party making new cocaine. Yeah, they've seen what the president said. The people would cause it the Britain. They're not making new land. They're making new cocaine. So if the president takes serious action, because senior government officials involved, but why he don't want to, he like his government. The question to ask people, the president want to throw a legacy on the line. Then they break out this to be fighting for to lead legacy, lead development. Volcanoes will be taking out of the battle, say, okay, I'm 82 years, so 2029 be 86, going to 87. I can transfer power to my vice president, maybe 1 year to the presidency, he's very young, then probably can contest whatsoever. New generation got to come. Because I remember vividly, Ellen told Boakai, he said, let retire, go to the sunset. But all of this stuff up for power. Boakai is going to be telling the Liberian people they have a referendum. They don't reduce our presidency to 4 years. And they cannot think the president will be talking about. He said, okay, let me bring all the opposition starting from 2029. Our election because a lot of trouble in this country because the period is too long. Representative then, senator then 9 years. I mean, the other legacy. Let me come to all the opposition with something dossier, certain people, push it to the legislature and they should sign it when they come from recess. That from 2029, our election will be 4 years, the presidency, the representative. These are the legacy the president need to set. But he's sitting down as 82 years old man. The people that he appointed, the tarnishing his government reputation to the international world. The whole world are flaky. Newspaper all over the world are flaky. So what is bothering him? If he says, if be real, if he is not in the cookie jar, or if family here is not in the cookie jar, he will rob all these people. He has the power, he can rob all these people. Well, for me, I say the Unity Party making new cocaine because why they don't have the money. And let me say something quick before maybe April can come in. You know, I was saying something. Some outside line I was said for many, many years when we watched, they were displaying on social media. Social media had over thousands of people, especially abroad. They just bombarding former President George Weah. We should set aside what is. The few people were combating this guy. They got to spread that narrative. The gibberish, the propaganda until they see this guy. They see spoon all these names, all the newspaper, all these guys. They still remember vividly. General P. and BBC. They were carrying hate pieces there. Even they got that run away from the Liberia now on spoon talk. We got the front page Africa, running CNN. They were all in bed with the Unity Party. But see, today now, all of them feel flat on their faces. They know that the country is going bad. And the question they asked me one day, they asked me yesterday, they say, are the country better or not? Since George left power? And you go to the video here, it's a disturbing video. He can never point anything. This is the guy that they brought that lie on all these people and brought this guy into power. And so when some of us come here now and start backing for this president, some other reason, we're on the fence. That somebody, if you don't know my story, ask people, how I'm a financial whistleblower for George Weah. I got legacy in our country. I did something for the president in his government at that time. Concerning Liberian maritime, I had make my mad. We get maritime headquarters now. They call it Leska. I destroyed the Corey family. They got the agent that were responsible for American. So I got stayed within George Weah. You know the arrogance of the Unity Party, Elton. When somebody coming to leave power, they get what they call take over the note. You think what in the making for Liberia because Georgia was hoping for the second term. You think why Georgia keep it quiet? Because the Unity Party started with wish hunt. They started with wish hunt. I will tell you there vividly. I was in Qatar with the former president. I went to Qatar. We have a president, I ran away because he was taking Ayrton, the United Party were not dreaming to win the election. Like while he saw Henry Coast start flipping to the others, to George Weah before he flipped again. They were not dreaming. They were not dreaming because of the help of Prince Johnson. But this guy, Ayrton, my problem with this guy, they lie. And today, they don't address the bread and butter issue. You ask Liberian, you take microphone in the country, Ayrton, the independent microphone, ask people, ask the poor people. The same thing still they were fighting the president for. It still exists. Nothing new. That's my argument with these people. That's my problem with these people. They lie too much. Where are the connections? They were all in Washington, D.C. to Congress. You can still remember. You're sitting there, all these guys talking about war crime code, all these things, they painted this government wrong. Where are they today? What things have changed? This is our problem. These are the problems that some are going high on them, and then they used to look at the other group. They're not smart, they're dummy. That's the problem we have with them. Without nothing, everybody want for that country to win, to leave it for the next generation. But this guy lie in the corridor, 60 billion missing money. This one. All of them today. What you have changed? 3 years now. They're going to the next year will be that 4th year. What is different now? They changing the country. They're changing the country. They just wish hunting. On a Georgia, everybody will flow in freedom of speech. You can read, but the wish hunting everything. Look at our country today. The first break of government got it on fire. All these things that want to come out today, stay here in the corridor, will never allow them to allow the propaganda spreading. I want some author on the platform. I told Sidisha, I'm not a Sidisha, I said it before here. I'm a George we have made. But I told people, when Georgia decide you say you're wrong. If Georgia are not running, you will never see me support nobody. I will close my chapter on politics because I know how nasty the country is. If it's now you today, it will not be the other person that had it running the country. So if you don't believe me, you think CDC building property? Go see the amount of people that are building property now just in 2 years' time. But it's you get salary, you build property. But at that time they were taking it different. So that why some of us are on their platform here now to debunk the propaganda.
Yeah, if you don't mind, let me come in. So you say a lot of good things, and some things are worth commending. But let me provide some rebuttal to some of the things you said I disagree with. You see Liberia's image. I don't think anything can ruin it worse than the prolonged civil upheaval we are in our country. Nothing can trans the war that we fought in our country in terms of our international image. So if we speak of this drug today, it is a terrible image. And considering the amount of drug we are dealing with in our country, you are right. It reflects poorly on the country. But Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had a problem. One of my biggest issue with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, don't forget, she's a UPist. She ran as a UPist, was a president via the UP party. One of my biggest problems with her to this day is she was well financed by the international community owing to the fact that she's a female and she was a very educated female. So the international community supported her, and to trump that, we have fought a prolonged war, and we were getting a lot of support from the international community after the war for electing the first democratic female president on our continent. So Ellen was heavily supported by the international community, and I think when you sum up her 12 years, I think she underperformed. Now you see me speaking against another UPist today, former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I think she underperformed what she was given and what she left. I think she underperformed. And let's come to the former President George Weah. People talk about UP or Joseph Boakai people. Have we forgotten that during the George Weah government, there were I'm not pointing finger at him, but it happened under his watch. There were so many disappearances of people. People died mysteriously.
Our force, big force.
Okay.
You will not spread that narrative here a lot. That's also propaganda.
Okay, hold on.
You see disappearing happening on Joseph Boakai.
You say people didn't die mysteriously.
Of course. You see disappearing happening in Boakai. You see anybody sleeping on it?
But we can talk together, then we'll talk over one another. That one we're speaking, I always listen. So let me say you can counter when I'm done. So here's the thing. People did die mysteriously on a Weah's watch. During the CDC government, people died mysteriously in our country. So people died mysteriously. There were people called corruption King Kong. We all heard that saying. There were a lot of corrupt people in the government. And the president can give someone a ministerial job, Prince, but it's up to that person to do the job. Liberian were clamoring for President Weah to even not sack Samuel 12 from finance, but rotate.
But why 12?
Why Samuel 12? The genius Samuel 12.
Prince, we can't talk together. It will do that with the forum.
Why Samuel 12? What is Samuel 12? Samuel 12.
I'm not Liberians. I am a Liberian. I said Liberians. So during the we are government, a lot of Liberians were not satisfied with 12 for that mapper exercise or the way how they explain that whole process and how they took the money to the streets. A lot of people are not comfortable with it. But let me speak. When I'm done, you can provide your report for what
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying. So yeah, let's provide some courtesy for one another. But with that said, Liberians were not satisfied with 12's performance at the final. If you want to ask me, go to the Liberian and confront them. I'm only a single Liberian. But with that, I think the government of CDC did not perform in its totality. But one of the reasons why President we are considered, he made it clear. Go and listen to his speech that he just had here in the US. He reflected on his football days. I thought he was just conceding because he was a UNICEF Google ambassador and all that good thing, which is right. But he made something clear in his last. Go back and listen to his last press conference in here in the US. He said one of the reasons why he considered, he chose to be very humble and listen to his past and what happened in his past. When we had won his first Ballon d'Or trophy, or World Best trophy, he was going for his second. But there was a defender back then called George Costa. He was a Portuguese defender. He irritated we are in a game, and we are hair-butted that guy. And I had it. The international community has turned it out with those kind of aggressive behavior. And I had it. They deny we are his second World Best. We are said when he sit down and think about that mistake he made, he never want to be ever confrontational, and that because of that reason, he will always think back and always give anything or quietly and in respect and step back. That's why he explained it. Any one of you can go by and listen. He explained that's why he conceded in the election, but he lost. In all fairness, he lost the election. Be a thin margin, he did lose. And you people are right. A lot of African leaders, they don't want to, and I don't know why. They're not even doing the best result. We see a lot of people in the Western world, they performing and they stay step aside. But African leaders, they are failing and they don't want to step aside. So we must give him a credit for that. Step aside peacefully and left. And Jake, you guys can take the credit for this one. Look, calling for a reduction in Liberia's presidential tenure is very relevant at this time. I think we should reduce it. I have said it. I say the tenure is too long. People are failing and it's remaining power for that long. I think it should be just like the US, just about 4 years. So you can provide your retort, but I have to give you my piece, and I hope that we'll continue the exchange, in a courteous manner.
You can hear you, Prince.
Prince, me there.
You can hear you.
Jay can just speak until you figure it out.
Okay, if you can't, then I will stop.
Yeah.
You can hear you. Let me say something. I always say you mentioning two people within the CDC. You always say Bagay and 12. That was a propaganda. I will tell you something here. The Unity Party have, they have 3 founders ministers.
Correction King Kong. Do you know who Correction King Kong is?
They have 3, listen to me, they have 3 founders ministers. Gafuan, Amara Khan, and Puama Kamara. Recently, Obama Kamara, he said he was sick whatsoever. He was not sick. He couldn't handle the Liberian economy. They put Gafuan there. Gafuan brought $1.2 billion budget to us. Let me tell you something. Under the Unity Party, since early, it's an economic guru. We all respect that for Harvard whatsoever.
You mean Moneybar?
I said Gafuan, they were 3 ministers. American were founders minister before. Gafuan. Right. Now your first time.
I know.
Let me tell you something. Only thing Liberian respect that one. I'm only 3 guys. I can put my money there, or can gather money for them to debate each other concerning the Liberian economy. He would finance minister would destroy them. Let me remind you of something. Sambato was consulting under the Unity Party. If you don't know, you are serious consulting under his wife because his smartness. Let me tell you something. They were all gibberish. They were the 2 guys that were holding that were the 2 guys that were the baboon of the presidency. So the Unity Party wanted to get rid of this guy. That's why he was saying all the corridor. But Georgia was smart to them.
They'll be calling Magay name. They'll be calling Samuel Twe name. Why today the people of Mangibi voted, he won with a landslide. If the main record was so tarnished, why he won a senatorial position in Mangibi with a landslide?
Why he left and switched to Mangibi?
Why? I said he won Mangibi. Life can be anywhere, maybe a parent. I don't know the story. Or why, if it was so tinted, why he won with landslide? It was just a propaganda. Let me remind you again. You said death on George, we are death happy everywhere. But at that time, they was spraying a spoon. You see good day flow money appearing every morning to the 5 o'clock, the videotape, the propaganda was waste. They buried Georgia through propaganda, a smear campaign for the 7 months into a presidency. These guys started in. Ivory Coast started on the other side. All the guys in. Liberian people couldn't read.
Jake,
they couldn't
ask your question.
So let me tell you something. The greatest finance minister in modern history, Samuel Twe.
I refuse to accept that.
That is debate.
By America
That's why
today.
they're afraid of him. That's why they want to bring him to justice. That's why they're afraid of him.
But he's facing sanction by America, though.
No, that's 4 sanctions. Bookers sanction.
Okay.
Bookers. It was by the Treasury Department. That was last. But only thing they want to follow is what kind of sanction you facing? That
America sanctioning him. America is our greatest ally. America is our greatest donor.
Booker sanction. Nothing fast for in that sanction. Nothing.
But Jake.
Listen, they sing Gafwan. We got a video here. Gafwan. We got video. We play that video when Prince come. Gafwan said they secure money for 100 school, 100 public school, 100 public school. Why the public school not built? Why is the public school? They said they secure the money for 100 public school. You know what they look like? What's the public school?
Administration, this government or the past government? Who's
this government? This. I said we get it. You know what the platform different? Because we don't relay video. We don't just talk here. 100 school, public school.
Every platform does that. I don't know.
They never start. No platform do it like us. Fast work. They will read from paper. No fast. They will never bring video to compare. We're comparing now. We're not comparing Alexander Cummings. No. We're comparing George Weah to them. That's a debate. We're arguing with them. They only insult. They only go on platform. Government said they secure money for 100 public school. They never start one school year. Never start. Who won the MCC scorecard? Who the cause? The permanent seat, the non-permanent seat in the Republic of that will won. Who is the bread? Who is the kick? It's George Weah. They don't want to get flour. Let me tell you, answer George Weah 6 years, he tried, he did a lot of things compared to the Unity Party 12 years and the 3 years now 15. My question to you, where is the Unity Party president? What's the Joseph Boakai hand marking the country? What thing you can showcase for the Unity Party right now?
You care for me to answer? I can answer
yes,
right
now.
All right. One of the things that's very important in today's argument is honesty. So one thing the government is doing and government is continuity is where CDC was strong. And
no, leave government continuity. What they doing now?
You allow me to answer.
Yeah, but you don't divert.
No, I'm not diverting. I'm answering the question the way I want to answer. You can't tell me how to answer a question, Jay. So one of the things that CDC did well, and from day one on the show,
we want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money, that I beg them. The money should be used to bless our people. Thank you and God bless.